Good morning, Sunday. Happy Sunday. It is Sunday's Social Security Roundup, and this is for the week of January 7th through the 13th. Okay, so let's see, on Sunday, January 7th, we talked about what age does a child's dependent benefits end at? And then that would be Monday, January 8th, this was pulled from another platform by their auto syncing, I guess. And this is a function report video on questions 14 and 15 of the function report. So if you're working on your function report, whether you are on initial, reconsideration, or you have a CDR, you're going to want to look at those. That's a whole there's a podcast slash playlist with all the function report numbers. And I would suggest, if you have nowhere better to look, you take a look-see on those before you answer those questions. On January 8th, oh yeah, we talked about what I consider to be a very good tool in a claim for many claimants, particularly overpayment claimants, but not always. It could be for other things too. And it's the SSA 795. And it's a great tool for the claimants to get evidence in. January 9th, we went over SSA's 16 ways in which you can get yourself a CDR. It seems like people are really interested in the CDR business. I'll try to hit more of that up. I guess it's because everyone on Social Security, Disability, or SSI is generally going to have a CDR or 2 or 3 or 5. Okay, so January 10th, it was about I think this one was pulled from another platform too. So when I saw it up there, I was like, yikes. I didn't plan for it to be published that day. It's already on a different platform. But this is about what parents have to do with children who are disabled to protect their future DAC benefits, that's disabled adult child benefit, that they might not be able to get as a young adult, but they can potentially get later if you've protected certain things. So that's really important for parents of disabled children, even if they're young now. Definitely important things to know because you can't go back in time and change it if you don't do it now. January 10th. This is about, sometimes child custody doesn't mean there's going to be benefits to the child. So it goes over that. January 11th, touched on the self-employment reporting requirements of a worker to SSA when they are a beneficiary. So if you are self-employed, it's really, really important that you are very diligent and organized and take care of these reporting requirements. Okay, January 12th. Oh, yeah. This was pulled also. They're pulling a lot from other platforms. I wake up every morning and I'm like, yikes, now I got to figure out what I'm doing with this one. This one explains about impairment-related work expenses and how it can really save you if you're in danger of going over SGA and then either losing disability benefits, not being found disabled, or if you're already a beneficiary and you're in the time period where you can collect benefits if you're not working over SGA on a monthly basis, but any month you owe that money back and you're going to have an overpayment. These are some things that you really need to know that might prevent that from happening. And then Friday, we had the fraud law review, as always. And this was about a Florida fellow who stole the Social Security benefits intended for his wife, but she was dead, deceased, and he continued to collect them. Combined with he assaulted a federal officer when they came to his door. These are I forget if this was a conviction or the indictment, but that was kind of interesting. He got kind of a double whammy. The attacking a federal officer is probably not a good idea when you're getting caught for something. January 13th, that would be Saturday. This was pulled outside of my control onto this platform, and it was about date last insured. Really, really important thing to know about. If you are applying for Social Security disability. Once you have already become a beneficiary, that is not so important, but it is super important before you apply and while you're applying, really. So you're going to want to know what that is, and there are ways to find out what that number is, that date is, if you don't already know it. Also, this again was pulled. They were pulling so many this week from other platforms. Blah. I was kind of flabbergasted because I felt like it was a little overkill. I mean, I'm cool putting out one video a day. I don't know that it should be more than one. I mean, the only time I do that is like the Social Security Sunday roundup, because that's just a roundup. That's not really new content. It's just summing up for you what went on last week so you can catch one if you missed it and needed it. And then the Friday fraud law review is just like a little token out there, and I always have like a regular thing going on in addition. But anyway, so now there's some duplicates. Some days two things went out, so I apologize in advance if it's overwhelming and annoying. But also on Saturday the 13th, there was the video pulled about it's a Social Security retirement video, and we go over, when's the best time to start, and that's very individual for people. Retirement could be 62 or any date up to 70. So we go over what things that you might want to think about and what the costs and benefits might be to the various different ages. And another one this is the one that they didn't pull. So they pulled two. I couldn't believe it. And by then, the ones that I have set up to just go out are already out. So by the time I see it, I'm like, oh no. So this is the one that was intended. It was a discussion about net earnings from self-employment, and something that really had to be shared about this is self-employment and what number is going to count as your earnings. It's really relevant if you are needing to stay under SGA, how it can help you. There's a little factor in here that a lot of people don't consider, and I much didn't consider it either. And then also the concern that I have that if it applies to defining income for SGA purposes when we're self-employed, does it also apply to deciding if you made enough money for gaining a Social Security credit or 2 or 3 or 4 that year? Because if they're reducing net earnings for self-employment by this particular factor, do they do it then too? So when you think you earned enough for the credits, boom, suddenly they don't count some of it. That was the end concern at the end of the video, but it otherwise describes how great this factor is when you're trying to stay under SGA. So that's why that came out. And that's it. All right. That was it for the week of the 7th to the 13th of January, 2024. I hope you all had a great weekend. Enjoy your Sunday, and I'll talk to you later. Adios.